March 13, 2026 is not just another date on the calendar, it is a threshold, a quiet but undeniable cosmic turning point that carries the weight of an ending, the force of a revelation, and the pulse of a new destiny beginning to move beneath your feet. Something is shifting now, whether you have words for it yet or not. Something old is loosening its grip. Something hidden is rising to the surface. And for many of you, this is the moment when the universe stops whispering through symbols and starts speaking through real life. Through emotion. Through truth. Through endings you did not fully choose, but deeply needed. Through doors that open only after you finally release what your soul has outgrown. This is the kind of day that can feel subtle at first. The sky may look the same. Your room may look the same, your responsibilities may still be waiting for you in the morning. But inside, something is no longer willing to stay asleep. March 13 brings a karmic and energetic shift that reaches into the emotional body, into the heart space, into the subconscious patterns you have been carrying for far too long. It is a moment of spiritual reorganization, a moment when the timeline you have been walking begins to split. One version of you keeps repeating the old story. The other version of you steps into a new frequency, a new level of self-respect, a new willingness to trust what is ending and what is finally trying to begin. There is a reason this energy feels so personal. The cosmos is not dealing with surface matters right now. It is moving through the emotional truth you have tried to manage, delay, or explain away. This shift is not here to entertain your ego, it is here to liberate your soul. Around this date, the energetic atmosphere becomes charged with karmic completion, emotional clarity, and inner reckoning. What was hidden may suddenly feel impossible to ignore. What was draining you may finally reveal its true cost. What looked stable but lacked soul may begin to crack, and what once felt far away may now start moving toward you with undeniable force. You may have already been sensing the pressure building before this moment, the exhaustion that sleep did not fully fix, the frustration of waiting, the heaviness of carrying things you have outgrown but could not yet release, the emotional confusion that made you question your own timing, your own instincts, your own vision. You may have felt like you were standing in a hallway between lives, with one chapter ending and the next still refusing to fully reveal itself. That feeling was not random, it was preparation. It was spiritual compression. It was the universe teaching you how to listen before the next instruction arrived. For many of you, the months leading to this shift have not been easy. There has been a deep inner clearing taking place. Old attachments, old grief, old fears of rejection, scarcity, betrayal, failure, abandonment, and uncertainty have been moving through your field in waves. Some of you have had to sit with silence where there used to be answers. Some of you have watched people change, distance themselves, or reveal sides of themselves you can no longer ignore. Some of you have felt your energy pulled inward, as if life was asking you to stop chasing and start witnessing. That was not punishment, that was initiation. Because before destiny changes outside of you, it almost always changes within you first. Before the outer breakthrough, there is usually an inner confrontation. Before abundance arrives, the scarcity wound must be seen clearly. Before love deepens, illusion must collapse. Before rebirth, something false must die. And this is exactly what March 13 is bringing. A karmic closing, a spiritual reckoning, an emotional reveal, a new current moving beneath the old surface of your life. The universe is rewriting destiny right now, but not through fantasy, not through instant miracles with no inner cost. It is doing it through truth, through alignment, through making it impossible for you to continue investing life force into timelines that no longer reflect who you are becoming. This is where the warning enters, because every rebirth begins with a disruption, every activation arrives with a test, and every karmic shift asks one sacred question: are you willing to stop clinging to what no longer honors your soul, even if it once felt safe? Around this energy, illusion becomes dangerous. Denial becomes expensive. Emotional avoidance becomes harder to sustain. You must pay attention to what feels unstable, false, manipulative, draining, or strangely empty now. Not everything falling apart is a tragedy. Sometimes it is the mercy of divine timing removing what your future cannot carry. If something is forcing itself into your life through pressure, fear, guilt, or confusion, step back. If a person's words and energy no longer match, notice it. If your body tightens every time you think about a certain path, a certain obligation, a certain attachment, do not dismiss that signal. The karmic lesson of this moment is not just about what is ending. It is about what you are finally learning to trust. Your nervous system knows, your intuition knows, your spirit knows. And this shift asks you to stop betraying that knowing just because the old version of you was trained to tolerate what hurts. At the same time, this energy is not only about endings, it is about activation. It is about abundance that can finally enter because the old emotional architecture is being dismantled. It is about a new internal readiness. It is about becoming available for a destiny that requires more truth, more self-respect, more emotional maturity, and more energetic clarity than the last chapter did. Something is opening now for those who are willing to stop negotiating with what is clearly misaligned. A healing, a redirection, a release, a powerful return to the life that actually belongs to you. You may feel this shift mentally as a strange mixture of clarity and overwhelm, a fog lifting but also an intensity rising. Thoughts may move faster. Realizations may land more deeply. Memories may return. Conversations from the past may suddenly make sense in ways they did not before. You may see the true pattern behind your delays. You may recognize where you kept shrinking, where you kept hoping someone or something would become what it was never meant to become, where you confused waiting with loyalty or suffering with spiritual growth. This is not a moment to judge yourself. It is a moment to understand yourself. Emotionally, this energy can be profound. There may be tears without an obvious reason, a deep tenderness in the chest, a sudden longing for peace, grief for the version of you that kept trying so hard to make the wrong things work, anger at what you accepted, relief at what is finally ending. You may feel raw, but also more honest than you have in a long time. Let that honesty move. Do not force yourself to stay composed if your spirit needs release. Emotional truth is not weakness under this transit. It is the doorway. Spiritually, many of you may feel like you are standing between dimensions. Your dreams may intensify. Synchronicities may multiply. Repeating numbers, songs, conversations, or symbols may seem to follow you. You may feel unusually sensitive to environments, people, noise, or hidden energy. Protect that sensitivity. It is not a flaw. It is your system recalibrating. The old cycle is dissolving, and the soul often becomes more perceptive when the false layers begin to fall away. Physically, the body may carry this transition in very real ways. Fatigue may come in waves. Sleep may become strange, either unusually deep or unexpectedly restless. You may feel heaviness in the shoulders, pressure in the chest, tension in the stomach, or a strong urge to pull back from overstimulation. This is why you must not ignore the body now. Your body is not separate from your spiritual life. It is the instrument through which energy is translated into reality. If your system needs rest, honor it. If you need more water, more stillness, less noise, less emotional chaos, listen immediately. This transit does not reward forcing, it rewards attunement. Now let us talk about money, abundance, and the material realm. Because this karmic shift is not only emotional or spiritual, it has practical consequences. It changes what you are willing to tolerate in your relationship with receiving, earning, spending, and valuing yourself. Around March 13, many of you may become sharply aware of where your financial energy has been leaking, not only through obvious expenses, but through undercharging, overgiving, staying in roles that diminish your worth, investing time into dead-end efforts, or making decisions from fear instead of long-term truth. This is a powerful moment to ask yourself whether your current financial patterns reflect your future self or your old survival identity. Are you still making choices as if you must prove your worth through exhaustion? Are you accepting crumbs because part of you still fears there will not be enough? Are you avoiding decisions because clarity would force change? The universe is not trying to punish your finances now. It is trying to expose the energetic story beneath them. And once you see the story clearly, you can stop living from it. Abundance under this energy does not come through desperation. It comes through alignment. It comes through protecting your resources, being honest about what is sustainable, recognizing your value, and refusing to make fear-based commitments that lock you into another karmic loop. Be careful with impulsive financial decisions made from emotional highs or emotional panic. If something feels urgent, manipulative, or too glittering to be grounded, pause. This is not the moment to chase fantasy. It is the moment to anchor truth. At the same time, opportunities can absolutely begin to stir now. A new offer, a clearer plan, a surprising opening, a creative idea, a chance to rebuild from a more authentic foundation. But these opportunities may not look like the old dream. They may ask more honesty from you. They may require boundaries, patience, or a willingness to release how you thought success had to happen. Trust the slower, steadier opening over the dramatic illusion. Real abundance often arrives with calm, not chaos. This is also a potent time to reset your receiving energy. If you have been living in scarcity, apologizing for your needs, minimizing your worth, or unconsciously associating money with guilt, pressure, or emotional danger, this transit may bring those themes to the surface so they can finally be cleared. Speak differently to yourself about what you deserve. Watch how often you tighten when support tries to come in. Notice whether you are more comfortable struggling than receiving. These are deep karmic patterns, and this shift gives you a chance to interrupt them. Your health and body need equal attention now, because karmic transitions are not abstract. They move through the nervous system, the hormones, the breath, the gut, the muscles, the immune response. If you have been running on stress, adrenaline, emotional suppression, or survival mode, March 13th may reveal the cost of that pattern. You may feel slower than usual, more emotional than usual, more easily overwhelmed by people, screens, pressure, or conflict. This is not failure. This is your body demanding a new agreement. Hydration matters, rest matters, sleep hygiene matters, quiet matters, regulating your nervous system matters, eating in a way that feels stabilizing matters, walking, stretching, breathing, and stepping away from draining stimulation matter more than usual now. The body may be trying to release grief, fear, old tension, or stored emotional fatigue. Give it space. Do not treat your body like a machine just because your responsibilities are loud. A new destiny cannot be anchored in a system that is constantly depleted. There is also a strong intuitive component in the body right now. You may feel immediate yes or no responses to places, people, plans, and conversations. Goosebumps, tightness, relief, dizziness, calm, heaviness. Trust those messages. The body often speaks before the mind catches up. If you are feeling unusually sensitive, stop asking why you are not functioning like your old self. Your old self is not the assignment anymore. Your body is adapting to a truer version of your life. Relationships are another major area of reckoning under this energy. March 13 pulls emotional truth closer to the surface, especially in connections where something has gone unspoken for too long. Misunderstandings may become harder to ignore. Emotional distance may become more obvious. Hidden resentments may rise. But so can long-awaited honesty, healing conversations, and a deeper willingness to stop pretending. This is not casual relationship energy, this is truth energy. You may realize where you have been over-explaining yourself to people who were never truly listening. You may recognize where your loyalty became self-abandonment. You may see that certain connections have only survived because you kept carrying all the emotional weight. That realization may hurt, but it is sacred. Because once you see it, you cannot unsee it. And that is how karmic cycles end. For those in relationships, this is a time to speak with emotional clarity, not emotional violence. Tell the truth, but stay grounded. If something needs repair, approach it with sincerity. If something keeps wounding you in the same place, do not keep calling it love just because it is familiar. For those who are single, this energy may reveal what you are no longer available for. It may also attract more meaningful connections, but only if you stop entertaining dynamics that drain your spirit. The universe is not asking you to become colder. It is asking you to become clearer. Support matters now too. Notice who feels safe. Notice who drains you. Notice who only approaches when they need something, and who actually sees you when you are quiet, vulnerable, and real. You do not need a crowd during a spiritual transition. You need truth. You need peace. You need relationships that do not require you to betray your own intuition. So what should you actually do with this energy? Ground it. Work with it intentionally. On or around March 13, create space for stillness, even if only for a short period. Reduce noise where possible. Step back from unnecessary conflict. Journal what feels like it is ending. Journal what your body has been trying to tell you. Write down the names, patterns, responsibilities, fears or attachments that no longer feel aligned. Be brutally honest, but gentle with yourself. Clean your space. Open a window. Light a candle if that feels meaningful to you. Take a shower or bath with the intention of releasing old emotional residue. Put your phone down for stretches of time if you can. Watch your triggers without instantly obeying them. If a major decision appears, do not rush just because the pressure feels intense. Let clarity come from grounded truth, not emotional panic. Protect your energy. Protect your money. Protect your sleep. Protect your spirit from people who only want access, not intimacy. Speak carefully that day. Words carry extra power under karmic shifts. What you say can close a chapter or open one. Avoid promising what you do not mean. Avoid reacting from wounded pride. Avoid reaching back into old timelines out of loneliness. If you feel called to release something symbolically, do it. Write a letter you do not send. Delete what you know is finished. Let the physical world reflect the energetic change you are ready to make. And now, let us move into the 3 zodiac signs most powerfully affected by this March 13 cosmic shift, because for these signs the universe is not being subtle. It is moving directly through destiny, emotion, and karmic redirection. The first sign is Pisces. Pisces, this energy reaches you at the deepest level of identity, not the image you show the world, not the version of you that learned how to adapt, soften, rescue, or endure, the real you, the one beneath all the emotional labor, all the spiritual waiting, all the internal dissolving of the past. This shift feels personal because it is personal. The universe is drawing a line between who you have been and who you can no longer keep pretending to be. You are being asked to release an old emotional costume, and that can feel both terrifying and liberating at once. For a long time, Pisces, you may have been carrying emotional confusion that was never fully yours. You may have absorbed other people's fears, moods, needs, and expectations until your own inner voice became harder to hear. You may have been trying to heal everyone, hold everyone, understand everyone, while secretly feeling exhausted, unseen, and spiritually overloaded. March 13th breaks that pattern open, not gently perhaps, but clearly. Something becomes undeniable now. A truth about who drains you, a truth about what you keep postponing, a truth about what your next life chapter actually requires. This shift can bring tears, yes. It can bring nostalgia, release, and a strong confrontation with the places where you settled for less because you were hoping love, time, or sacrifice would transform what was fundamentally misaligned. But it can also bring immense power, because once you stop carrying what never belonged to you, your energy returns, your vision returns, your magnetism returns, your destiny becomes easier to hear. Financially, Pisces, this is a time to stop romanticizing struggle. Your abundance wants structure now. It wants boundaries. It wants you to honor your gifts enough to stop giving them away in spaces that do not value them. Emotionally, this is a cleanse. Spiritually, this is a rebirth. The version of you emerging after this shift is softer in the right ways, stronger in the right ways, and no longer willing to dissolve for people who only know how to take. The second sign is Virgo. Virgo. This karmic shift lands in the part of your life that deals with control, trust, emotional honesty, and the stories you tell yourself in order to stay safe. You have been carrying more than most people know. You have been managing, anticipating, fixing, refining, thinking 3 steps ahead, trying to hold things together while your heart quietly asked for a different life. March 13 interrupts that pattern. It reveals what can no longer be maintained through effort alone. It shows you where your perfectionism has become a shield against deeper truth. You may feel emotionally exposed under this energy, not because you are weak, but because the universe is asking you to stop surviving through constant self-control. There is a deep karmic lesson closing for you now around over-responsibility, around believing that if you just work harder, understand more, and carry more, you can prevent disappointment. But your soul is tired of performing stability while your inner world remains unheard. This shift asks you to tell the truth about what is no longer sustainable. In relationships, Virgo, a major realization may arrive. You may see clearly where communication has become performative, where emotional reciprocity is missing, or where you have been offering loyalty without receiving real presence in return. This can be painful, but it is clarifying. You are not being rejected by destiny, you are being redirected toward truth. And once you stop trying to repair everything with effort, you may finally allow yourself to receive support, honesty and connection that does not have to be earned through exhaustion. Financially, this can be a powerful turning point. You're being shown where practicality must now meet self-worth. If you have been underestimating your value or tolerating imbalance because it seemed logical, that pattern is ready to end. Trust the quieter opportunity. Trust the structure that brings peace, not just pressure. Your abundance grows when your nervous system is no longer at war with your ambitions. The third sign is Sagittarius. Sagittarius, this shift reaches into your emotional foundation and your future at the same time. You are a sign that often moves toward the horizon, toward possibility, toward the next vision. But recently, life may have forced you inward, into emotional material you could not outrun, into questions about home, belonging, intimacy, trust, and the cost of your own freedom. March 13 brings a karmic pivot, one cycle involving emotional avoidance, misplaced optimism, or inner restlessness is ending, and what replaces it is far more honest. This may feel intense at first, because you are being asked to feel before you leap, to tell the truth before you escape, to acknowledge the ache beneath the momentum. There may be a sudden awareness around what you have been avoiding emotionally, what you have been calling independence that was actually self-protection, or what you have kept postponing because slowing down felt too vulnerable. The universe is not trying to trap you. It is trying to root you. It is trying to make your next expansion real, not performative. In relationships, Sagittarius, this energy can bring major revelations. You may no longer be able to ignore who truly support your becoming and who only enjoy the lighter, less demanding version of your presence. Honest conversations matter now. Emotional accountability matters now. There is a difference between chemistry and truth, between excitement and safety, between movement and alignment. This shift teaches that difference. Financially, there is potential for powerful redirection, but the lesson is clear: do not gamble your future on impulse, fantasy, or scattered focus. Your abundance now depends on emotional maturity, sustained attention, and a willingness to commit to what has long-term roots. You are not losing your fire. You are learning how to aim it. And even if your sign was not one of these 3, do not assume this message is not for you. If you found yourself in these words, then your spirit recognizes the doorway. These cosmic shifts do not ask for your sign before they teach your soul. They ask for your honesty. They ask for your willingness. They ask whether you are finally ready to stop repeating what your heart has already outgrown. March 13, 2026 is a portal of karmic truth, a moment when the universe quietly but unmistakably begins rewriting destiny through emotional revelation, energetic clearing, and sacred redirection. Not everything you lose now is loss. Not every discomfort is danger. Not every ending is failure. Some endings are rescue. Some truths are medicine. Some delays were protection. Some heartbreaks were evacuations from timelines your future self could never survive. So as you feel emotional, trust that something real is moving. If you feel uncertain, slow down and listen deeper. If something leaves, bless what it taught you and let it go. If something true arrives, do not shrink from it just because it asks more of you than the old story did. This is not the time to go numb. This is not the time to perform certainty while your soul is calling for transformation. This is the time to become available for the life that actually matches your spirit. Let this be the moment you stop apologizing for your intuition. Let this be the moment you stop calling your pain a personality. Let this be the moment you stop returning to what the universe has already helped you outgrow. There is a new destiny line opening now, but it does not open for the version of you that keeps choosing fear over truth. It opens for the version of you that is willing to release, to trust, to feel, and to walk forward without dragging the ghost of the old life behind you. You are not being abandoned by the universe. You are being repositioned by it. You are being corrected, clarified, cleansed, and called higher. And even if this shift feels quiet on the outside, it is rewriting more than you know. So breathe deeply on March 13. Watch closely. Listen carefully. Protect your peace. Honor your body. Tell the truth. Release what is finished. And remember this, when the universe closes a karmic chapter, it does not do it to punish you. It does it to free the part of you that was never meant to stay there. This is your activation. This is your warning. This is your abundance turning. This is your rebirth beginning. And this is the moment your soul has been preparing for. Walk like you know that something sacred has already begun.